Okay, so I've been really excited for this one. This is going to be the War Prophet leading my Trench Crusade Trench Pilgrims. So I want to make this one special. What I've got here is a Knight Relictor from the Stormcast. This miniature here. You can see it's got a really cool mace, and I'm not going to be using it for this miniature, but I think that could really come in handy later on down the line for another miniature in Trench Crusade, definitely. So I've shaved off all the little trinkets and stuff here. It looks a bit messy, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be covering that up later. I've left the arms in place for now. I'm hoping I can get away with them in this position, but if not, I'm sure I've got plenty of other Stormcast arms I could use as alternatives. So yeah, this is a case of sort of working out what I want the pose to be. So he's going to have an anti-tank hammer, as it's a very good option for him. And what I've got here is the hammer from the Chaos Warpsmith that I've glued together. And I think that's going to make a really cool anti-tank hammer. Now I might keep the arm as is and have the pose like that, but I will have a rummage through just to see what other Stormcast arms I've got, just in case we could have something a bit more outstretched like that maybe. I'll have a little rummage. Okay, so I looked at a few arms and I don't know, I didn't like any of them enough to really make the leap into chopping that off. However, what I have decided to do, if I can grab my clippers, or just a squeaky chair, and there's a little bit taken out here where the other hand will join on. I'm going to take that out completely and just cut it right down to where the elbow guard is. And then I'm going to take the hand here, I'm going to take all this bit, because I really like this bit of armour with the, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the mechanical hand, but, you know, it could be alright. I'm going to attach that on there, like so. And to be fair, it's a cool pose. I mean, I was looking into ways of having it up like that, but, I mean, I could play around with the angle here and have it like that. Debating though. It could just end up being quite messy. And to be fair, I mean that's cool, but maybe we can agree that's cooler. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so this is how he's looking. And yeah, I really like that pose. As you can see, I've shaved away a little bit of there, so I want this miniature to be holding a book. And this book is from the Battle Wizards, which are for the Cities of Sigmar, or the old Empire range. The hand's a little bit smaller than the other one, but as the other one's sort of a mechanical hand, you can sort of get away with it. Now for the arm, again, I thought about changing the pose. I just don't want to take the risk. I don't seem to have a lot of other Stormcast arms that I'm sort of quite happy with, and I didn't want to cut it off and then be left regretting it. So he's going to be holding the book sort of up high, which might not be everyone's cup of tea. Preferably I'd have had it a little bit lower, but it is what it is. I think it'll be fine. And yeah, I'll get that glued in place like so. And then I think we'll work on some other accessories and the shoulder pads. And yeah, I've got a few ideas. Okay, so I decided I didn't quite like the arms, so in the end I sort of made a cut in the elbow joint and just sort of pushed it just in a little bit, and then the gaps are sort of filled up with glue at the moment, and I'll probably do something else about that. So I'm going to glue the shoulder pad on this arm for now, until I decide what I'm going to do on the other one, and this comes with the actual miniature, which is really cool. I've got to use that. I just think the shoulder pad on the other side just looks a bit too much Stormcasty. I think it's got the yeah, it's got a little sort of head thing on. I may get a plain one at some point and replace it, or I may look for something else. I did think about getting like a Scout's shoulder pad, see if that'll fit. I may do that. But while I decide on that, I have a couple of extra bits I want to pop on. Let's get out my little baggie. And I apologise for phone dinging. It always does. Never does when I actually remember to mute it. So I've got some scrolls here, which it doesn't want to focus, but they are here. These are from the Thousand Suns Terminators. And really I should have neatened these up before I hit record. But we'll just dig it. Scrape a little bit off there. I don't actually know which way up these go. I do like the little eyes on them though. I think they go up that way. They're going to go on this mess on the front here and cover that up. And they can hang down nicely under there. Covers that up really well. Maybe try and get that a little bit more central. There we go. And then I've got some bells, and I'm probably going to add some other bells as well. But we'll start off with these bells from the Flagellants. Again, Caesar's Sigmar Flagellants, but previously Empire, and they might go back to Empire in Old World, I don't know. Try and shave that bit off there. There we go. And I'm going to hang them down in this little gap. Get on camera, in that little gap there. And then, oh, just knock that out of the way, of course. You can go on there like so. Beautiful. Yeah, I like it. So I'll give them plenty of time to dry. And yeah, I'll look at the other shoulder pad. Got some other bells, and then some bits for the back as well before we move on to the head. Okay, so we've got all the little trinkets on the front, and I'm also going to add a little bell here that we stock on our web store, so you can buy a little pack of 8 bells, all together, different sizes. And because it's resin, I've got to have to super glue it in, and that's just going to hang off there like that, just so we've got some extra bells. The artwork for this guy has a lot of bells. It would be quite nice to have one of our own on there just for some variation. And for the other shoulder pad, I've decided to use this lion's head shoulder pad, which I had left over from one of the Vanquisher boxes for Stormcast. Just need to trim a little bit off the bottom there. And that fits nicely on the other shoulder. As I said, I didn't want to use any sort of plain Stormcast ones or any Space Marine ones or anything like that, as they're just too distinct for them, and they don't really look different enough. And nothing's going to come out of that one. What about this one? Yeah, there we go. Always have a couple of glues on standby. They always get clogged, them nozzles. As I've shown in one of my previous videos, I like to take a lighter to them, and that unclogs them. There we go. And for his back, so don't yell at me in the comments, but here I am using the 3D printed part. I know that's 3D printed, but we stock them, so yeah, you can buy them. But this, I just found some 3D printed crosses online, and I just made it a bit shallower, so they're quite thick. Just to go with the artwork, big cross on his back. And strap that on. I might make some little green stuff rope to make it look like it's been tied on or something. Otherwise it's just sort of sitting there. But that's going to glue on there like so. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll be back. Okay, so it's looking pretty cool now. And you'll notice I'll put a little tilt shield on there. That is a resin one, but of course any Space Marine one would fit on there quite nicely. And I just happen to have some of these lying around. So I do apologise for people who don't like the printed bits, but I promise these are the last ones. Now these are some little sirens, and we actually sell them in our store. And I basically had them made specifically just so I could do them in this conversion, but I thought they'd be quite cool to sell as well in case anyone wants to do the same thing, or they could be useful for terrain or whatnot. Just a couple of blobs on the cross with super glue. And I'm probably going to move them fairly far back. Obviously super glue don't give me a lot of time to work with, but I think if I put them in like so. So of course I'm just following sort of the artwork on the miniature. Now, slight little angle there on either side. I think that makes it look a bit more interesting. So I'll let them dry. So we just need the head and just a little bit of green stuff, and then we'll be there. Okay, so I've put on the green stuff, and my green stuff work leaves a lot to be desired, but essentially we've just got some tubing running from there. We've got like a little bit of sort of rope going around, holding the cross on, and then it goes around the front there. I'm just going to assume there's some sort of built-in little microphone thing to there. I was going to use a little piece to go on there, but that would just be too big and might be in the way. So yeah, just use your imagination. For the head, now I don't actually know what this is from. It may be from the Imperial Navy breaches, as I've been using a lot of their heads lately. But I'm not 100% sure. It could be from something completely different, and I could be totally wrong. But I just had it laying on my desk, and I thought actually that's quite a good head. So I put some green stuff down on the neck area, and I'm just going to press it in while the green stuff is still soft, like so, and then maybe just angle it slightly that way. I quite like that actually. Maybe looking up just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, let's get it on the 360 and call it done. And here we have the finished conversion, and I'm so happy with how this one turned out. I spent quite a bit of time sort of researching which pieces I was going to use. It took me a while to decide on the actual body, and then the rest of the bits just sort of came from there. Now I know there's a couple of 3D printed bits on it, and that just couldn't be avoided really. GW can't do every single piece that I wanted, but it's quite cool to have a couple of pieces sort of specially made that we can sell on our website, so anyone else who wants to do their own Trench Crusade conversions in a similar way, they can. So I thought that's really cool. Because it's taken me so long to edit this video, I actually have a finished painted version of them as well. So yeah, normally when I do these videos, I only show the conversions because they're not painted by then, but yeah, I managed to get them painted by the time I got around to editing this video. So yeah, the only things I probably would improve on it would be the green stuff work, because it is a bit rubbish. It's just something I don't really use very often. But overall, I'm really happy with how the miniature turned out, and it looks really cool leading the warband, and I will share more of a warband as and when they get built and painted in the future. So yeah, stay tuned for all that. And if you liked the video, please feel free to like and subscribe to the channel and all that, and I'll see you again in the next video.